All right, guys, Grizzly Risley is here, and we are in chapter 9. Congratulations. This is our second to last chapter of the year. So, this chapter is about graphing parabolas. And let's remind ourselves what a quadratic equation is. A quadratic is any equation whose degree is 2. And again, meaning that the degree means that the highest power is 2. So anything with the highest power of 2 is called a quadratic, and a quadratic is going to look like a parabola. But what's that? A parabola looks like the letter U. Okay, so any quadratic equation with degree 2, the parabola is what it's called, and it looks like the letter U. So we call this graph a parabola. Okay, so let's talk about how to graph key features of a parabola. Okay, so do you guys see the U? This is a U facing up. This is a U facing down. They're both still parabolas. There's this thing called the vertex, and the vertex is the turning point. Where does the graph turn directions? Where does it turn around? So should we write that down? The vertex is the turning point. You can also think of it as the lowest point or the minimum point on the graph. Okay, so I need you guys to think about what the ordered pair of this vertex point is. So it's 1, -4. That's the vertex. Always an ordered pair. Now the line of symmetry. I need you guys to draw a line that cuts this U in half. And it's right here. So draw in that line that cuts it right down the middle. That's called the axis of symmetry. And we need to write the equation of that line. Now since it's a vertical line, remember Vux, the equation of the line is x equals, and it's always going to cross through the x value of the vertex. So x equals 1. That's the equation of that line. And then the y-intercept is where does the graph cross the y-axis? And that happens right here, right? So the y-intercept is where does the graph hit the y-axis? The ordered pair, that'll be an ordered pair, that's at 0, -3. All right, so I'd love for you guys to stop the video and try number 2. Okay, remember the vertex is the turning point. But when the U is facing down, instead of being the minimum, it could also be the maximum. So depending on what direction that's facing, it's either the maximum point or the minimum point. But either way, the vertex, the turning point, the ordered pair is 2, 1. Okay, draw a line that cuts the parabola in half, and that's going to be right down the middle here. What's the equation of that line? Well, it's a vertical line, so x equals, and it's always going to go through the x value of the vertex. So x equals 2. That's the equation of that line. And where is the y-intercept? Where does the graph hit the y-axis? The graph hits the y-axis right here at -3. So 0, -3. All right, let's actually try to graph some. Okay, so vertex form. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. At some point, you guys will have to have this memorized. Okay, but let's talk about what everything is. The h, k, is the coordinates of the vertex. The HK is the vertex. The line of symmetry, remember on the front, we said it's always the equation x equals the x value of the vertex, so x equals h, and the y-intercept is always going to be whatever you get when you plug in 0 for x. So 0 comma something. So whatever you get when you plug in 0, that'll be your y-intercept. All right, let's try some. Okay, so number 1, what's the vertex? Well, remember the vertex is h comma k. But here's where you guys have to be a little careful. So the h is 1 and the k is 3. Okay, so the vertex is 1 comma 3. I guess you didn't really have to be careful there. 1 comma 3. H comma k. The line of symmetry is always x equals the x value of the vertex. So x equals 1. And the y-intercept is 0 comma something. You guys got to plug in 0 wherever you see an x. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my calculator, and we're going to plug in 0 for x to get the y-intercept. So let's do it here. All right, so 2 parentheses. X is now 0, so it's 0 minus 1 parentheses squared plus 3. And whatever you get, that's going to be the y-intercept. So 0 comma 5. All right, now we're going to try to graph our very first parabola. So everybody make a dot at 1 comma 3. That's going to be the vertex. There's going to be a line of symmetry through that point, a vertical line. And the y-intercept is at 0 comma 5. 0 comma 5. All I need for you guys to do is make one more point. Okay, so we're going to need 3 points. We're going to need 3 points to make these parabolas. Where do you guys think the other point's going to be? So it comes from symmetry. So if this is your line of symmetry, if this point is 1 away from it, then there's got to be a point 1 away on the other side of it. So you're going to use symmetry to get your extra point. And then if you guys connect the dots and try to make it kind of curvy so it looks like a U, that's how you graph a parabola with the vertex and the y-intercept. All right, if you guys want to stop, go for it, but I'm going to do one more. All right, so let's try it again. So same thing, vertex is h comma k. This number is h and this number is k. Well, actually this whole thing is k. So the vertex on this one is 2 comma negative 1. The line of symmetry is a vertical line, so x equals the x value of the vertex. So x equals 2. And the y-intercept is what you get when you plug in 0 for x. So let's do that. So let's plug in this equation, but we're going to replace x with a 0. So negative 1 parenthesis, 0 minus 2 parentheses squared minus 1. So the y-intercept is negative 5. So 0 comma negative 5. All right, let's get our graph down and get that extra point, and you guys are done. So the vertex is at 2 comma negative 1. The line of symmetry will go directly down through that point. And the y-intercept is at 0 comma negative 5. Okay, you guys need a third point. Where is it? So if this line cuts the graph in half, if this point is 2 away to the left of the line, then symmetry tells us there's got to be another point 2 away to the right of that line. And then if you connect the dots in kind of in a curvy fashion, that is your upside down U. So that's your parabola. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's it for today, and we'll practice tomorrow.